Hello everyone, and thanks for coming back to the channel. This is the MK1 Arc Reactor. It's an LED light. It comes as a do-it-yourself kit. It comes with some spare parts and pretty decent instructions. So I've actually got my studio lights on here as I show this to you a little bit. It does put off a fair bit of light. It's not going to light up an entire room, so I would say it works mainly as a night light and not like you would think a lamp or anything of that nature. It is quite an undertaking to do this as I get my camera to refocus. Every time I move it, the camera freaks out. Mainly this top ring and doing all these copper windings. Whoever did, okay, let me step back for a minute. So I'm cruising Banggood and I see this little picture on the side and it kind of catches my eye. Now my wife and my oldest child, who's 14, are big superhero fans. They watch all the superhero movies. They tend to go out on that Friday night when new ones are released. And I thought this would be pretty cool. You know, it's a kid. It can't be that bad. I'll just build that up. And then this will be his new nightlight. Because all the kids have nightlights. Even Mom and I have one in our bedroom. And he's needing to transition away from that one we got him as a baby. So I decided I would build this up and he would get this. Now, it's a little bit more fragile than I'd want in his room. These pieces that you see here, these are made from some sort of compressed wood. And you could probably tell the back side is not painted, but the front side, the outside is. And then you have this plastic ring that goes around here. There's also some plastic bits down here. It does have this kind of neat little plug down here. I had to glue these in because the heat shrink just wouldn't hold them in. This is not wired. It's just zip tied to the main lead here. And it does come with a power switch, which is relatively simple. Let me turn this off so you can get a little better detailed look at this thing. Then we have these copper rings down in there. So the instructions tell you how to do this. But if I had to give you a warning, it would be about winding all this copper around this acrylic piece, this acrylic ring. Kind of the thing that makes it look as cool can be. That part took me probably over 2 hours to do, and I don't think I did an especially good job. You can probably see through here where I probably get some light leak right in there. I've got some areas where it's not so clean. Whoever did the one on Banggood site, they are a craftsman. And I should mention that this comes in several different versions. If you value your time very much, I would not suggest buying this version. There's a version that uses larger copper wires that I think will go together a lot more quickly than this one did. It uses like I said, the bigger gauge of wire, and it doesn't actually go all the way around. It just kind of crimps over the edge. I suspect that one would be a pretty quick build. They also have kits that come with a stand that has the ring around it that says proof that Tony Stark has a heart. As far as the licensing on that, you know how that stuff goes when we buy these things from the Far East. To their credit, I guess if I had to try to make an argument, I don't see where there's any sort of Iron Man logo in this. There may be in the other versions. I haven't looked that closely at them. So you can buy a glass case for this as well, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I've actually bought 2 other versions of this because I do want to build one up and give it to my 14-year-old because I think it would be a nice nightlight, and I think it's something he would enjoy. Inside the acrylic case, I do think it would survive the nonsense that goes on in his room with his buddies and all. But this one was a good, nice project. It took me, like I said, probably about 2.5 to 3 hours to build it in total. I used a lot more glue than they instruct you to in the kit. One of the biggest problems I have, and we're not going to be able to see it here very well, one of the rings, I believe it's the bottom ring, is off, and it's because the little clips on the standoffs, the acrylic pieces that are kind of stepped up, it's missing the part that clamps down on the top of the ring, so I had to shove it this way in order to make it stay, and then I glued it in. Also, this silver piece gets glued in, and these screws do screw in here, but down here they do not. You just glue those in. I use some super glue here underneath the copper wires to make everything stay in place, because without that I found it to be unmanageable. And then I use some E6000. They show it as silver. I suppose if you're a really good craftsman, you might have some silver paint or something that you can use to give it that little bit of a solder look. The other versions that I mentioned previously also come where they're using aluminum or stainless steel, and that's where some of the price comes in. I'll put links to those kits down below if you care to check them out yourself. But for now, I think this one's going to sit on the shelf, and from time to time, you just might see it in other videos. because it is pretty cool. So some of the questions that you might have, no, I'm not transitioning away from quads. The nerd in me thought this was so cool that I thought at least a few, maybe a handful of you might like to see this in the real world here with someone who's built it up themselves. And like I said, I did buy the other kits as well because I do think it's that cool. I probably won't be doing anything like this in the future, and we'll go back to quads as usual. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise, please let me know in that section down below. I appreciate your time. And thanks for watching. You stay right there, little buddy.